All right. Morning. DJ, Devin, and C. Grover. How's it going? Let's see. Got sound. Let's shuffle a few more of these windows around. Looks like we got a new friend on Twitch. New follower. Let's see. Trasto Viejo. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I don't know if you'll see this, but appreciate you dropping the follow over there. Let's see. That looks like last night, 16 hours ago. Dexter, how's it going? Okay. So I am picking up mostly where I left off last night, but I will take a moment. Whoops, we don't need that open. Let's close that. Yeah, we don't want that. Let's take a moment, though, just for anybody that might be new, for a quick introduction. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord, as well as Twitch, FoamyGuy_Twitch, if you're watching this over there. On this stream, we are working on CircuitPython related stuff. If you don't know what that is, you can head to CircuitPython.org to learn more. That's a good place to start out. I would encourage you also to join us on Discord, which is linked down below. Basically, though, this is an implementation of Python. It runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers, like this pink one here that's kind of hidden by the wires. This little computer inside this main chip here can run Python code that we're loading on it through the USB port there, and it can interact with other hardware devices. In this case, we have it hooked up to a particular kind of display that we're going to be testing out. So CircuitPython is the code that runs on here, and that is kind of the gist of what I generally stream about, is working on CircuitPython projects or libraries or infrastructure or some other parts of the project. So like I said, CircuitPython.org is a good place to learn more, which is over here. And then CircuitPython is an open source project. It is all the development, I should say, takes place out in the open on GitHub. We collaborate on Discord as well. There's weekly meetings that occur over on Discord, so all of the development is kind of open to the community. There's lots of folks who work on various different parts of it. It is primarily funded by this company, Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. They're a hardware and software company based out of New York. They are the ones who are paying the team who work on CircuitPython full-time. They're paying some of the other members of the team who work on CircuitPython part-time, like myself. They're paying us to actually work on the code, to make documentation, to do updates and fixes, and support and projects and guides and all kinds of things. So thank you to Adafruit, of course, for publishing CircuitPython and continuing to fund its development. And thank you to anybody who wants to purchase hardware from Adafruit to help make that happen. You can buy the microcontrollers as well as all sorts of stuff that you can hook up to the microcontrollers to do fun stuff with. The new things that are popped out this week are this little grid that goes on the cutie pies of RGB NeoPixels there, and then the one that I've got my eye on, which is this little display that has the ribbon cable connector. Probably be picking up one of these before too long. Oh, I wonder if the mouse battery is going to make it through this. We'll see. I may have to... Oh, actually, I've got the new batteries here. Yeah, okay. We may have to swap mouse batteries at some point. More specifically, though, where we're working on this morning is picking up where we left off last night, which is in the core, trying to change the displayio show API to be a property instead of a function call. Last night we did some cleanup, and we also implemented the ePaper display. Today we need to do the FrameBufferDisplay. In order to test it, I have RP2040 feather and a sharp display, but it's not running any code. Well, I should say the code it's running is not actually doing anything on the display, or not intending to do anything on the display. It's actually making this static, which is kind of interesting, but that part is kind of coincidental. So we need to basically get a baseline kind of control for testing this. We want to get the sharp memory of the display working. I don't know if I ran it on this device before or not. I'm going to install the stuff for it. I don't know if you saw, but I submitted a Twitch and Mastodon. I did see the Twitch one. I have not seen the Mastodon one yet. And definitely agree with that. It's good. Oh, CircuitPython is not installed. Interesting. Definitely a good place to see all kinds of fun, interesting projects. But yeah, I saw the Twitch one. I haven't had a chance to look close or review it or try it out or anything. But I saw it go through. And then I hadn't seen the Mastodon one, but I know now. What do we have wrong here? Do we really not have Circup? Spell it wrong? Circup? It doesn't look spelled wrong. We must have Circup, right? Really? Okay, guess not. Already installed. FrameBuff. Already installed. Okay, we must have probably used this device before, but in fact, do we want to update? You can't just update individual ones, though, can you? We have a very old version. I guess ultimately we're going to be building. We might as well. We should probably go ahead and update, though, right? I think we should probably go ahead and update. Missed yesterday's stream. Feather. Didn't get a chance to watch the replay. Yes, root group. It's basically the same stuff we're working on today. Just yesterday we did the e-paper version, as well as some of the cleanup in the sort of what I'll call standard display version, regular SPI display like PyPortal and all the other just sort of built-in regular displays, Feather TFTs. Wow, excuse me. Did not mean to do that. That probably was pretty loud, sorry. We want to get to bootloader. So, yeah, I forget. Does this one do double tap reset, or do you have to use the boot button? It doesn't turn purple. Makes me think I probably have to use the boot button. Be proud of me with the Twitch API using OAuth bearer. Nice. Yeah. I will definitely check it out. Probably Monday? For sure, if not sooner, definitely Monday, because I'll be doing a sweep through reviews again. Let's copy it from here. I do think there's lots of cool stuff that could be done with Twitch, too, so I am excited to have Twitch API stuff, because, like, lots of Twitch streamers will integrate with the chat in various ways, integrate different things with the chat, right? Sometimes it's like overlays on the stream where chat can interact with it, like have a little avatar or do stuff or whatever. There's a kind of a lot of stuff you could do by connecting up CircuitPython devices hardware-wise, like have chat control the lights if you have colored lights or something like that. Have a matrix, a scrolling matrix text thing, matrix portal with scrolling text or something. Have chat be able to push messages to that, or on Twitch they have like spend channel points or whatever. You could have it hooked up as a reward where people can interact with your hardware through there. I think there's lots of neat stuff that could be done if the basics was set up to get it communicating. Okay. So many boards, which random button sequence? Yeah. I mean, they're fairly consistent, but there are some differences, and it does throw me off. I will say too, while they are fairly consistent, like double tap reset is generally pretty safe for getting to bootloader. It's not 100%, but a lot of boards use double tap reset. But I will say the specific double tap timing does tend to vary. I've got some that are faster or slower. Some that give you the purple light, which is really nice. The ones that give you the purple light, those are the easiest because you just have to hit the button during the purple light. We really I want like the full thing though. Can I get, is there like a full one? Yeah. So I already have a backup of the stuff that's in CodePy. The stuff that's in CodePy is actually the Minecraft commander, which I already have. I already checked that it's the same file, so we're just going to overwrite CodePy with this. Probably chip select. We did use D6. I guess maybe this will work. Yeah, it looks like it worked. It's very small. It's upside down, but pretty good. I think ours is the 96 one. End up doing like 10 attempts before I actually get it from board to board. Yeah, if you don't get it, then you gotta look it up. Yep, definitely been there. Did actually get a second matrix panel going to port the 7 segment to the 2 matrix panels. Love the pink feathers. Oh no, the next one's not gonna be pink? I bet you the pink boards will pop up from time to time. I do like them as well. It's nice. I just like the variety as much as anything too. Got a lot of black microcontrollers at this point, so pink and other colors are welcome. Blue at this point feels like old stuff, right? Like kind of the older revisions of boards, Adafruit boards at least, are blue. Like this display here is kind of an older, feels like an older one because of its blue board. Did it? I didn't actually catch it. Did it actually fit the screen this time? I believe I didn't have CircuitPython yet. Unexpected indent. We didn't change the code, did I? Oh, maybe I did. Oh, I see. It's broken here. Okay. Fair enough. Ooh. Not great. Does it call release displays? Does it need to call release displays? I feel like it would need to call release displays, right? Oh, interesting. For one thing, it doesn't have a loop either, which is odd. That one definitely did not work very well. It just spit random stuff, kind of. I think it needs to call release displays. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to. It's not going to be able to like actually create it because it's still consumed by the old instance. Displays are one of the interesting things in CircuitPython that live on past when your script is done, when your script finishes, whether it crashed or kept running or canceled or just got done because there was no more code. The display stays in existence. Still got nothing though. This time we didn't even get lines or anything. Also not changing to the terminal? Would it change to the terminal? Like the Osh Park After Dark board color too. Oh yeah, with the that's the one where the like lines are kind of copper accentuated. Is that right? It's like the dark matte black. Love to see baby blue or turquoise. Yeah, that'd be fun. Won't convert easy Gerbers. Can't use them if I want to. Unless you get to KiCad. This does seem odd. Like it feels like it worked the first time, but then not anymore after that, right? What if we try a hard reset? Interesting. Why did we is it not the 96 version? It's not the 96 version. I mean, it hasn't worked since we did that. Okay. It's not the 96 version. Fair enough. Okay. I was kind of expecting those the what it called the rectangle test, I believe. I was kind of assuming that that was centered and it was supposed to be over here and it was actually just on a bigger display. Not seemed to be the case though. Oh wow, okay. That's the After Dark, but that one's got a big ol', is that a big ground plane? Or is this a different one that's like beige? No, that's trace, right? Is it? Well, no, because the traces, there's some traces in there. Okay. It must just be beige cover. What CircuitPython are you running? Is it still on the version that had the reset bug? Yeah, we're on beta 4 now. I just loaded beta 4. It was older before that, 7.3 something. Okay, so we kind of have our baseline. When we make our changes, we'll be able to come back here. Ooh. Wait a minute. This is a different thing. I mean, start memory display. Frame buff. This is not the same thing. This has a method called show, but this is not the same concept because this doesn't take a group. This is more like old school display where you can set pixels. Gotta find displayio test. Displayio example. Need an extra file, or all the data's in here? Okay, we can start with that. Play text. Oh, what is it? Circup install. Is it just -- auto? Nice. So that will install all of the things that it needs, not just because like I would have installed one and then it would have told me that it crashed because it was missing the next one. And it's now, because it's missing this, ooh, that's a interesting effect. Gotham Black 54, that's awfully big. I feel this must be made for the big screen, right? This has got to be made for the big screen. Let's try just Terminal IO font. I don't know if this is going to work out. Because there's a bigger one of these displays. Where's our label? Font. Font. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. My guess is these will be too small to read, maybe? I'm not exactly sure what this will do. Built-in font has no load glyphs. Really? We might have to probably cut some of this out. Oh, it's running this time. It is certainly not printing legible things. I wonder if all the pins are still the same. I mean, oh, well, it's also setting up the wrong size display too. What were we on before? We were like 120 by... Okay, we may have to kind of just we may have to cut out the setup of the displayio display, because this is made for that bigger screen. It's not made for the one this size, which is what we have. It's made for the one that's like iPortal sized almost. It's much bigger. What's the code in here that says it was 144 by 168? 144 by 168. So this should help some. Should help some. Yeah. This is probably off the screen. I'm guessing there's a matter down here somewhere that we can't see. And I don't see the names. I don't know where the names show up. Maybe centered on the big screen or something. Maybe they're too far off to one side or the other for now. Let's do a more basic example though. Oh, it restarted, I see. Okay. Let's do some kind of like smashing together of this one and the other one. Which, actually, we're already most of the way there. We could start... Interesting. Enter, exit. Are these context things? Clear solder mask. Strip displays. No, they have. Just the one that I had was different. I guess you probably saw by now. D4 is too big for the 1.3. Yeah. New screen. I move everything to 0, 0. That does make it, yeah, a lot easier. I think we want... So I guess this is like a context processor for batch update. That's kind of interesting. I think what we'll do is start with out anything except the display, the frame buffer display. We don't need the font. I don't have the font anyway. We'd have to download it. We won't do a for loop. Kind of go back to just the display setup, and then we'll build from there. Show. Name group. Oh, okay, I see. Just switching back. Maybe I'll get one of the bigger displays one of these days. Are they in stock still? I think that came out a little while ago. 76? $45? Okay. I'll keep this. I don't know if we're going to use this. This is kind of interesting. I've not seen this. I kind of like the idea of this as a context processor, though, really, because there are some times where you want to put a bunch of things together. Like if you want to change a bunch of text, for instance, it's better to change it all and then refresh the display once rather than just update it all with auto refresh on and like it might chunk across or whatever. Might update partway through. Test label. What happens if you put emojis in here? I don't think it works, right? We'll see what, I don't, color, I guess it would be, well, we want white first? I don't know which color it's going to default to for the background. I don't really know which color it's going to default to for the text either, to be honest. Whoa, 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 whoa. Possible with the new microlab optimizations to make the displays run faster? Or is it still bottlenecked by the SPI bus seed? I do not know. Do not know. I know Jeff was thinking about some ideas to try to speed up some portions of the display. Not sure if it involved microlab or not. I mean, it definitely is gated somewhere by SPI, but what I don't know is like, are we already at that limit or not? Are there like other things we could speed up, and then only then would the speed limit of the SPI bus start to matter? I'm not actually sure where we lie in that scale. Truthfully, the actual like mechanics of the display are still beyond me. I get it as a programmatic concept for drawing stuff onto. I'm pretty good at it on that level. But the actual like communication and electronics that make it work are a bit black box magic to me still. LED speeds. I would assume that it is unlikely to translate to display I/O, with the perhaps one exception being something like a matrix portal where you have a display I/O display that is actually just RGB LEDs. In that case, my guess is maybe you get some speed up from the work that they are doing. In the case of a standard like LCD display or a sharp display or anything like that, my assumption would be that the work they're doing now doesn't apply there, but I also don't actually know for sure. We already called show back here. Just pass. I don't know, this is probably not gonna... Oh, it actually did, yeah. And then the one thing is the same thing we got yesterday, which is that the label is halfway off, because that's where labels spawn by default. Do we center? Yeah, let's go center. Oops. The one thing it doesn't do so great is center the lines with different lengths. Like if you actually wanted this aligned center, then you would want sharp scooted over some like that, right? I wonder what's the easiest way to provide a utility that does that. Gotta like count characters in the widest row and then add spaces. Aren't displays just RGB LEDs? I mean, on some level, kind of, yes, but I don't think it works the same. I don't think it works with the same code. I truthfully don't know either, though. So, like, whatever my guess is just that. It is my guess. I don't, could be right, could be wrong, could be way off base. That's why new labels, yeah, the anchor point. Yeah, so by default, they're placed with XY positioning instead of anchor point and anchored position. But XY positioning, the Y is at half the height. The Y is at half the height instead of the top left, which is what at least I would expect. I think what a lot of people probably expect. Can I get a new tab? There we go. This page, I think it's this page. This page, I believe, should have a good visual. Yeah, this right here. So by default, they're placed at 0, 0, XY coordinates, but the thing is that the Y of that XY is half the height of the text. So it's not top left, it's like middle left. So by default, they spawn kind of halfway off the top of the display because they spawn at 0, 0 in that coordinate system. Rows and columns are different per display. Yeah. Okay, so now we have an actual baseline test, right? We have a way to test this after we make our change in the core. We'll have a frame buffer display. We'll be able to call, root group equals main group instead of this. Root group equals main group. Be able to call that, which should crash right now, I assume, right? It has no root group, so we'll be able to do that, make sure it works, try it out. Put it back to this for now, and then we'll get into the core. I think I'm going to close off a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of things open. So some of it I'm going to want to copy, probably. I think I'm actually going to start fresh and just close everything for now. I will go to my scope of this. So we're looking at frame buffer here. Pretty much anywhere where there currently is a thing that says show, we're going to probably want to add a thing that says set root group. So we'll start in shared bindings. I am going to copy from... Do we want to copy from the e-paper one, or do we want to copy from the regular display one? Probably doesn't really matter. We're going to have to change a fair amount of both because this one is not displayio, and a lot of the code is going to have displayio at the beginning of it. Oh, there is actually a get root group already. That's convenient. So we will actually just need the set root group. But it does, this is different. This is also different. This will be different. Group will be the same though, because it is still a group object, so that part's the same. Okay, so we should be actually good in here, I think. I guess this means there's already a get root group inside of here. So we're actually good there. And so what we really are going to be doing is changing this section here, which currently represents only a getter. We're going to be changing it to both a getter and a setter. And I'm going to steal the code that mostly does that from here. This part's the getter, which we actually already have. This part is the setter. Yeah, all of this stuff is all related to the setter. So let's get all of this. Come back here. I'll comment these. We're gonna probably take some more of that stuff still, but paste this stuff. I'll fix my indentation because indentation is broken for some reason. Why is the indentation broken again? You know, I could run pre-commit and that would fix it, I guess. I need to figure out why the indentation is broken. Because that negates a lot of the upside of the IDE if it's not even going to get indentation properly, honestly. Okay, so we're gonna have to change a lot of this. Frame buffer, all of this at the beginning here. Okay, yeah, let's, there we go. NH said root group change wasn't gonna happen until 9. It is gonna be supported now. So now you'll be able to start, well, not now, right? Obviously when the PR for it gets merged. But it will be supported in the short term. You'll be able to use the set root group API, but you'll also still be able to use the show API until CircuitPython 9. Then in CircuitPython 9, you will not be able to use the show API anymore. You will have to use the newer set root group API. So it will be supported sooner, but then later on down the road in 9, that's when the old one will be deprecated the rest of the way. That's when the old one, you won't be allowed to use it any further. Or archived, I should say. I guess it's deprecated now, which is like the suggestion is you should use the new one once it exists. But the old one won't stop existing until that future version. It is a bit about that too, though, changing the core to make it match the new terminology set root group. It is a bit about that as well, but yeah, that's the gist is, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It went from idea on Monday to working on the, I mean, I was working on it the same day because I just am gravitate towards display stuff. I found it an interesting thing to work on, and I pegged it as like just slightly outside of my grasp. Like I hadn't done something quite as big as this yet inside the core. So it was a good learning experience. So I was interested and excited to jump in and start working on it. Did some of it throughout the week, and then here we are kind of trying to wrap it up, hopefully, this weekend and get it to the point where it can be reviewed more next week. Set root group, yes, group. This, I guess, would be the same. So this is going to change for sure, though, right? We're going to probably want to steal this from inside the show function. In fact, we probably ought to just steal all of this. Okay, but why though with the pasting? Okay, I gotta spend at least a minute trying to figure this out because like this drives me insane, truthfully. Sea lion, paste, indentation, no indentation. Reformat on paste, smart indent on paste. That's one way to call it, huh? I want to understand the expected outcome. I don't want to understand the expected outcome. I want it to just paste literally what I copied. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Setting reformat on paste. Where did you find this reformat on paste? If I disable smart indent, the line pastes where I expect it to. Format block. Smart indent? One of the good things about this is the settings have a search. Enter. Smart keys. Enter. See, I don't want to mess with it on enter though. Where do you go to change it on paste? The following settings. Reformat on paste. Reformat on paste. Reformat on paste. Indent each line. No, sure. Let's try this. Anything is better than what we have. That's not true. That's not true. There are things worse than what we have. That doesn't seem to have made a difference. We're still not indented here. Okay, attempt number 2. We already had indent each line. Let's do reformat. Or these are all the same, if I'm honest. These I have not noticed the difference yet. Fingers crossed for none. We'll recopy it for good luck. Okay. That was it. We recopied it for good luck. We got it. It's good. We're there. We're good. Can I upvote this? Oh, no, because I'm not signed in. All right. Well, thank you anyway. I appreciate you, Marcel Wilson. Let's see here. Are there any different features between root group and show, or just a name change? Just a name change. Yeah, everything is just changing names. Well, I mean, one is a property, one is a function. If you consider that a different feature, then that's it. But like, I don't know. I consider it a name change, even though it's also like a functionality change, right? It changes the way you have to write the code. By switching around like equal signs for parentheses and stuff, but It is, in effect, just a name change. In my mind, at least. Verbose. Verbosity stems from the word verbatim. Which one is verbose? Something I searched or something, maybe? Not sure. Group already used, so all this stuff should be fine. We are calling show here, which we probably will want to go and change this over to call set root group. But I actually kind of want to test it like this first. Because I think we have actually maybe, I think this might be the bare minimum we need to make this functional. So we're going to go up. We're going to go to Raspi. We are going to go LS boards. We are going to go make shouty board equals feather RP2040. MJ J8. Oh, failed. Okay, so we do not have enough. Defined but not used. Shared binding C. Group object undeclared here. 368. Oh. Right. Yes, we did not finish actually changing this stuff. So, yes, this would need to be this. Here as well, and then also on both of these. Probably should have stolen the getter one from this, but I think at this point we've already made it so we're matching. Still no. Find but not used, 334. Does this say frame buffer set group defined but not used? 345 undeclared. Display. We have another displayio. Displayio group. And where's the displayio one? $347 shared bindings. Oh. Got it's grayed out, I guess, because it's unused. My brain just ignored it like a comment. Okay, we have way less errors this time. That's a good sign. Maybe. I don't know. Seems like it. 367. Root group object. Yeah, root group object undeclared. Oh. Extra D on the front of there. Fingers crossed. Okay. That was a 2-second build. 2 seconds. That is very fast. That is probably too fast. We should probably slow down so we don't get a ticket. Copy, build, firmware, UF2, media, This, what did it say? Feather? Nope. RP? RP. Copy. Just in general, that verbose means output exactly as I see it. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I wanted a verbose copy, as it were. I see what you're saying. Output it exactly as it was, yeah. I am with you now, CircuitPy. Probably nothing changes here, right? Because we didn't take out show, just like we just talked about. We're not removing show yet. So the old code still works, but with a touch of luck, the new code will also now work. Pretty good. Pretty good. We got it. We're not done, but it does work. What else do we need to do though? We need to still well, we need to change the internal API still, because this is just calling show, but we actually want it to be calling setRootGroup. And I think in order to do that, we have to go define it inside of shared module. I'm pretty sure this won't build anymore. Yeah. So we actually will need to go find that common HAL FrameBufferIO FrameBufferDisplay show and add a setRootGroup. Sure, that's going to be over here in shared module. I don't know if we'll need it here as well. Is there a show in here? There's not. Probably we don't need to touch anything in here. Actually, let's check. Is there a get root group in here? No. Okay. Probably we don't need to mess with anything in there. There is a show here. Show here is actually already calling setRootGroup. Interestingly enough. Is there a get root group? There is. So we should probably add a setRootGroup right here. And I guess we probably already did this inside of this one. Or not? Yes, we did, but it's just in a different place. I wonder if there's like a right place for it. It feels like right next to get root group would be a good place for it. Which is the end of the file in this one. And then we'll just go back to show. And the inside of our function will actually just be this. Because inside of here, it already has the check for the OK stuff that we just got done deleting a second ago. Or not. Or not. We maybe have not got rid of that. Just returns from here. Is that in the shared bindings one? Oh, okay. It's in the shared bindings one where we have this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're catching the return of that. That's our OK. So we don't need to be doing the OK inside of there because we're doing the OK check right here. Okay. Lots of layers of OK there. Group. Yeah, so we should be able to build, I think. Nope. Oh, it returned none. Thing returned none. Maybe I was wrong about... Maybe we do need the... So this says it returns bool, but this claims it returns an object. Do we need to just change that to be a Boolean? But this one returns none. Oh, okay, but this one returns none and does the check. Maybe we do need the check there, I guess. Suppose we do need the check there, and I was just wrong. It does feel like we're already doing it though, right? Does it not? Are we not doing it here? Feels like we're doing it there, and this should just be Boolean. Oh, now I changed the signature. Well, and this can't return a Boolean anyway, though, because it's now a property. That is more like it. 6 seconds. These buttons are very tiny. We've already reset. Oh, interesting. We get the terminal, but it doesn't have any stuff in it. Hmm. I wonder why it's empty. I wonder why it doesn't have this stuff in it. That's kind of interesting. I guess, did it get destroyed when we released display? Maybe it does, I don't know. Hmm. Okay. Is there anything left outstanding in the frame buffer stuff? Got our shared module. We did the internal API, so the set root group. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Was there 2 lines there before? I'm not actually sure. We already had the dictionary table. This was already included. It just used to be a getter only, but now it's a setter as well. Group, global variable. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Fix into files. Get this again. Still don't know why. Okay, let's try also on a matrix portal, which I also have here. So I think that the matrix portal also uses FrameBufferDisplay. And then I'll commit, and I think we're good. @mel. Matrix portal in 4. Oh, I did 4 instead of 8. Oh, it stays visible for a little bit. Interesting. I guess it doesn't actually have board.display, does it? Because there's different panels and all kinds of stuff, right? It needs to know which panel it has. So you actually you probably have to set up the display yourself, or probably if you import matrix portal library, it does it for you. We should have took a backup. It was on 7 something before. I think that's the same code we had. Looks like I just didn't have very much code on it. Hopefully. Should make a more basic simple test. I think it should have like a display object. On peripherals? Peripherals as matrix. Self.display. So matrix portal.matrix.display. Metaford import. Well, you don't have to do the whole thing. You can import just the matrix by itself. The module. I do feel like I must have lost stuff on my device, but I did not look at it before I reinstalled CircuitPython, but I must have had some stuff on it at some point in the past. Definitely used it before. Hopefully there's a backup on the old computer with anything relevant. It feels like it probably got wiped sometime before today, would be my guess, maybe, because there was very little on it. Or I think, and it seems like stuff that was there is still there, but okay, that did work. I do have this now. And then just to confirm, like inside of here, so that's cool actually. I didn't realize you could initialize the display by itself. Bit depth 6, default is 2. Bit depth, default is 2. Or bit depth as in the number of colors, or? Ooh. displayed a bright red something for just a second. Would it need, well, it calls release displays in there. Maybe it needs a little bit of bright, ooh, there we go. Oh wow. It's crashed PyCharm. Mouse disappears when I go on top of it. And it didn't finish saving. Wow. Bit depth dramatically impacts refresh buffer size. Started on the API examples. I don't know. Bloated implies that it's negative. I don't really see that it's negative. I think they're just different examples, right? It depends on what you're trying to do. If you are trying to pull, if you don't know anything about programming at all, right? You have no idea what an API is, nor do you care. What you know is you just want to get some data that exists on the internet onto your screen. Those level of examples are good, I think. Just because they're difficult to customize, just because they do a lot of stuff with a few lines of code, doesn't make them not good, really. Just makes them different. They're for a different person. So I don't really look at it as bloated exactly. Certainly feels like we just wrecked our CodePy here. I don't know what. We don't have any project anymore. These things are disappearing as I look at them. Yeah, this is still right messed up here. Oh boy. We can't confirm exit because we can't see anything. Hope that unplugging the matrix portal. Is this better? Tab? This is not gonna be very good, I don't think. Okay, we have files this time. That's a step in the right direction. Have anything here? Well, I unplugged it. That makes sense. Bye. Oh. It wiped itself. Hmm. Was that a fluke? Or is that just gonna happen again? going to do without bit depth. Probably need those last few though, huh? Okay, I'm back to here. Went to safe mode. I should have saved that file. I feel like we might have just found like a hard fault or something. Needs to power lots of USB. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't feel like power though, right? Because it's literally exactly when I saved the file for the second time. Like when I saved the file and it showed the first time, it ran and it showed. It feels very much like the code runs again. Something caused the system to freak out. It could be power. I can't say that it's not power. That's twice now, though, that it's happened exactly on a save, right? Like, why does it run fine the first time if it doesn't have enough power? But power's weird. Power is weird. Sometimes it does stuff that doesn't make sense. One of the things I've learned about the matrix is if you don't plug in the 5-volt supply, it only displays in red. That does not appear to be true for mine because I have no external power and we just saw white and purple on the Blinka and the text, so that doesn't appear to be the case in my situation. That's a matrix portal issue caused by the MPU and the display are on the same power wire. Do you want about red? Okay, we're gonna try something. I'll be back in just a second. Okay. I gotta be honest too, I wonder if I could go back at the stream. I wonder at any point in the stream did I show the contents of the matrix portal before I installed CircuitPython 8? Because I'm working under the hypothesis I think it was mostly empty. And if that's true, then I also find it pretty suspicious that it was mostly empty when I started, and I am now running into a thing where it's formatting itself over and over. Like, maybe it did this before as well. That's how it got mostly empty, but I can't say for certain if it was actually mostly empty when I started. It is no longer, so it is now direct to the PC. It's not on the hub anymore. So should have more power. I don't know if that's true, really. I don't know the electricity behind it, but feels like it should have more power. Has a more direct route to the power, at least, I would assume. Up to you. You don't have to. I can check into it after the fact. It's kind of a hypothesis more than anything else, and it doesn't get me too much farther if I know, but that's kind of my thought, is that I think it was, and then this like, oh, that's like the okay, that's the wire under there. I see. My thought is that it probably was, and then it's seeming like maybe it did this before. I wonder. Matrix. Oh, matrix. I should save this somewhere else so I don't have to keep rewriting it. Is it mad because this is called matrix and I said matrix? Should I... So far we have the same thing. The first time it runs. Everything seems fine. We have our purple blinka, we have our hello. It's pretty bright. Seems to be just hanging out. Everything's cool so far. I don't think I did this before, but we'll go REPL. Oh, can't really see a particularly relevant portion of that, but you know, we can see it as we type it, kind of. It feels like everything's kind of fine. I'm going to press Control D, so this is going to give us a chance to rerun the code without having saved it. Probably don't want notifications on this. Probably just really don't want notifications all the way, truthfully. Fader proof of concept was changing. Oh. Hard to see due to the window layout, but it looks like it was mostly empty. Okay. Can't see in the lib folder. Main directory only has CodePy. Okay. I think it's gotta have been empty, yeah. Thank you for checking. I think it's gotta have been pretty empty. That's why I blanked the screen as soon as possible and then put the palette fader in place. Brightness is binary. Oh, interesting. 0 and 1. Does 0 show? Does 0 show up? 0 very dim or 0 off all the way? Palette fader. I do. Yeah, I do remember palette fader. Being able to change to give you a wider range of brightness on this device. Okay, we're gonna try Control D. That should let it rerun. So we'll see if it's just a. I mean, we've changed a few variables at this point, right? I'm doing Control D instead of saving. I also changed to a direct USB instead of the hub. So see what we get. So far, so good. So that's a good sign. Okay, so let's try saving it. So the red, you saw the red that time. That happened before. That's like while it was saving, basically it did that or something. But it did run this time. Everything seems fine. If I Control C, Control D, it doesn't do that either. It's like specifically the changing of the code, maybe. Yeah, the changing of the code. But I have run it multiple times now. We are doing all right on this front. So let's get enough of it together as a 0 is off. I gotcha. Let's get enough of it together as our example. So let's say, let's make a label. Matrix. Oh, what just happened? Ooh, we can't just divide a display by 2. Half a display? What is that? That's not good. I actually changed a lot of variables, I guess, because I also didn't use the name matrix. I wonder if that was messing it up. Okay, I accidentally just saved that, and it did rerun, it did the red thing, but of course it's still showing this because we didn't actually show or set root group or anything. For a display suddenly draws a bunch of current, the role of the underpowered device. That's true. I could see that. Why does it turn red though, I wonder? I wonder if I've called set root group, I wonder if it's still going to do it. I figured it only shows red on USB power. I guess as the red is showing up during reboot and it turns off. 5 volt supply. I don't I don't think I have ever used an external power supply, so I wouldn't know anything on that front. I've always used the matrix portal, and I've always used the, oh, sorry, that was probably loud, my bad. I've always used these two screw terminals for power. Easier for me to know that since the external PSU isn't tied to the feather, as it is for the feather wing. Yeah, I'm not sure anything about the external power side of things. So matrix object, and then it is .display .root. Group equals main group. I'm gonna copy paste that. Save the hands. I did still get red. Looks like it crashed probably. Cannot import name. Oh. Yes. So this does not exist because this does not exist on current CircuitPython. But it would have crashed as soon as it got to here, even if it got past this, because we never did install the new version that we're actually working on. Did we make the new version? Firmware Matrix Portal? Yeah, we did. So let's use that. Double tap reset. So yeah, it seems like, I'm guessing the fact that I'm no longer on the hub is helping. I'm guessing the fact that I went straight to the computer is probably giving it that little extra bit of juice that's making it not kill itself. I do wonder though, what's up with the red? If going full red is drawing too much power, which is brownouting and ultimately causing it to wipe itself, could we not go to all red? Is that like technically a thing that has to happen due to the way the files get transferred, or could there somehow be a way to fix it so it doesn't turn red, therefore it doesn't draw all the power, therefore it doesn't risk killing itself when you save the file as much? It's something to look into. I don't recall that happening before, but it's been a while, so I can't say for certain. I guess we could try going back to older versions of CircuitPython, see if it shows up at a certain version, maybe? Whoa, we're all shouty, huh? Build, matrix, firmware, media, matrix? Not really much to see until it actually finishes, but... When I hit save with the featherwing, does a bunch of weird stuff. Okay, there, now it is not only working, but we got our set, we got our CircuitPython terminal. Actually, everything is working on this build right off the bat. When I hit save with the featherwing, does a bunch of weird stuff showing random lines and stuff, then it resets. Then everything loads fine most times. Sometimes you get a hard fault. I'm using S3, which has a hard fault issue. I gotcha. Okay, so it almost, I wonder if it's like the same data lines that it's using or something somehow. Somehow the actual like files being transferred over the USB, it's kind of like using the same line it's trying to talk to the LEDs on, maybe. Just getting jumbled up stuff. You're seeing like basically just messed up representations of your files, pretty much. I don't know. That's a total guess on my part. I can't, like, I definitely don't know that for sure, but yeah, this seems to be working fine. We can go back and forth. We went to the terminal and we got back from it, so that's a good sign. We're no longer wiping each time. Like, every time we rerun, we're keeping our code and all that stuff, so that's good. We could switch back. I mean, I guess we could put it in the well. Oh. Reset itself. That was probably my ID. I bet you something wrote bet you something wrote a file. I didn't really try to make it, but I bet you something wrote a file. Let's make a vector IO. Let's go from vector IO import circle. I do not know off the top of my head all the code though to make a circle. Let's go CircuitPython docs vector IO circle. We'll need a palette too, I guess. Okay, we'll do that. Let's do it. Get a palette. Boom. Palette circle display IO. We need to import palette from this. Yes, palette. And then we need to call it like this. We need to call it like this. We need to $25 might be too big. That might be too big. Let's start with much smaller. Let's also start with like 0, 0 or 10, 10. Pin the circle, and then after this, we actually want to go back to main group so that we can continue looking at our circle. Cannot import palette. Try that one. We got LEDs. There is our circle. Back to terminal with the print. Back to main group. Nice. During the reset sequence, the attached matrix is under its own random control, or at least until CircuitPython starts talking with it. Perhaps the matrix portal should have a display blanking as priority during startup. That'd probably be a good idea. Like the very first thing it tries to do maybe is blank it. It could as early as it can. It's under its own control. I wonder why when it's under its own control it chooses to display that stuff. Be cool if they would provide like some like EEPROM space and you could put an image in it as bytes and it would show that image whenever it was under its own control like that. That way you'd have like your own almost like boot screen image looking thing. From my experience, it's not like TFT and displayio. There are artifacts most of the times on the panel before resetting to black. TFTs draw more power when they're all white. Okay, so this is looking good. We got the ability to set the group, it's working. We got the ability to go back to the terminal and back to the group, back and forth. Everything appears to be going good on this device. I don't believe we made any more changes in the core, so I think we're ready to go ahead and commit this. I'm pretty sure I ran pre-commit before, but also there's no harm in running it again. I'm going to do that, pre-commit run A, just to make sure. It's better to find it here than after we push and find it from actions that it's going to fail. We don't want to commit that. We do want to commit all of those. Allow set root group for frame buffer display instead of show. Change the internal API as well, but okay. I'm gonna make a new comment here. I am gonna mark it as no longer draft. I'm gonna go fingers crossed. Hopefully we pass actions again like we did yesterday. And then this can maybe get reviewed next week. Is anybody here Interested in Legos. I'm working on a Lego project recently. And I was thinking about popping the stream on at some point while I was building some of it. I may do it either way. I'm sure there's different folks on Twitch who may be interested in that, but possibly later on tonight or tomorrow. Possibly at some point I'll pop on for a little bit and play with some Legos. So it'll be definitely different than what I normally stream, but I figured that might be kind of fun. I'm working on the Home Alone house. And ultimately, I want to try to tie some CircuitPython into it once I get it built too. So I've got some ideas to kind of bring the two together, but I got a lot of building to do before I get to there. Also, don't know if I have the 3D modeling skills to do what I want, so maybe we can hopefully we can convince the Ruiz brothers maybe to go on a quest for us, design something cool. We shall see though how it shakes out. Is that true? Didn't we? We did change show, I think, right? Yeah, show is using set root group. Panel isn't very smart, just fast. Well, fast is good sometimes. Fast instead of smart is alright sometimes. Oh yeah, wow. So you get like full on Glitchville there. I see. Interesting. It's even got like some of the numbers are on top of each other, and then you get like a nice matrix thing going on there. Matrix green text stuff going on. It's kind of a cool effect actually. I do kind of like it. It's very like cyberpunk, like person punched a panel on the ship's deck or whatever, and it showed that for a split second before blinking back to the fuel gauge or whatever, right? That's what it kind of reminds me of. Futurama or something like that. Bender just punches the ship because it's not displaying right. Resets itself. Same pattern each time. If I unplug the USB cable to the feather, it does keep the image on the screen. Oh, interesting. Unplug the USB. Oh, that part, I do think that's normal. Because the display will just keep showing the last thing it showed, I think. If you stop sending it data, it'll just stay on whatever the last thing it had was. Kind of fond of the glitch effect. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I kind of like it. I mean, it'd be in like a real world project where you're trying to like get it installed or use it regularly. It'd be good to have it not do that, so people don't ask about it and stuff like that if it's on display or something. But as a widget, I do kind of like it. It's kind of adds a bit of amusement to it for me. One of these days, I imagine we'll probably track down the best way to deal with it, though, and try to minimize it as best we can. But internally also uses the new set root group. This I believe we did do. There we go. So we'll have to see if that passes actions. I'm not hoping so, because we passed last night, but we did change a fair amount of code. It passed pre-commit, so it should pass actions, but, you know, maybe docs or something. Sometimes other stuff messes up that's not part of pre-commit, so we will have to see. I think that is going to do it for now, though. That was the main thing I wanted to get knocked out today, was the frame buffer display, and test it out. We got it working on both the Sharp display and the matrix portal. Everything seems good. We can go back and forth to the terminal. Everything's working as intended as far as I can tell. I'm feeling pretty good about this. We got this now out of draft, so hopefully this week maybe Scott can take another look, and anybody else who's interested in testing it out or reviewing maybe can take a look this week, and we'll see where it goes. Get that in, and then once this does go in, probably the next sort of effort on this front will be starting to update example code and guides. There's a lot of example code and guides that will need updated. Now the good news is, like, it doesn't like strictly need updated, you know, urgently until 9.0 when that show is actually removed, but we probably want to get ahead of it, you know, sooner rather than later, get started swapping all that stuff over to use the new way. So that's probably what I will get into, at least on this front, after this PR is merged, is starting to get a handle on updating that learn guide code and library example code and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be an interesting effort. Maybe we can automate some of it with the bundle or with the learn guide repo. Might be some opportunities for that, but we'll have to see how it goes. No different patterns each time. I think it's actually the fonts getting stretched or warp. Okay, yeah, like maybe as it loads, it gives you a big version or something, some portion of the data. All right, I'm gonna call it a day for now, though. Thanks for hanging out, DJ Devin, C Grover, Dexter. Who else was around? I think maybe that was. Am I forgetting anybody? I think that was the folks who at least were around and in the chat. But thank you, of course, to anybody else who's watching as well. Definitely appreciate everybody hanging out for a bit and following along. Hope everybody has a good Saturday and a good rest of your weekend. I will catch you next time. Like I said, I might pop back on later tonight or tomorrow and play with some Legos. If that's the kind of thing you're interested in, you can follow me over on Twitch. I probably won't post links or anything in the Discord for that, since it's not really CircuitPython. But if that interests you, take a look at that over on Twitch. You can follow and get the notifications for it. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Probably on Monday, I will stream for a bit. And then should be back for deep dive on Friday and all that stuff. So until then, I will see you later.